car seat or, but everything is like, mommy, mommy now. And now it's like, no, mommy, now you grandpa, grandpa. And I'm like,
oh, really?
So,
It's grandpa
yeah,
right now?
for everything. And I told him, I said, maybe we're going to see Tio Tavo, maybe we can go to dinner. And Mateo was like, I don't want to see Tio Tavo. Is Jimena here? And I was like, no, they're not here. Then I don't want to see Tio Tavo. I want to see Yair and Jimena. I'm like, okay, how am I going to say that to Tavo?
Yeah. In the past, they get super excited to see me. After they go to Phoenix, that's it.
They don't see Jimena.
Jimena, like, where you going to San Jose? What is San Jose? A training. What is that? When we went to tell, he said, Mateo and I mean Mateo. If he still lives there, I'm sure that Mateo and Mateo live there. So Pelos Chinos too? Yes, Pelos Chinos is the same one as Manuel.
Pelos Chinos.
Why? Curly hair. Oh.
Yeah. Usually was in that house for like, 3 days? We had a 2-year-old, 2, 3, 4, and 5-year-old in the house. Tavo and I were like, so who needs to go to the store? Like, we need a break.
And after your stupid thing that you allow them to put makeup in your face and paint you every day, Jimena and Jair. My tia said that we can paint your face. Go back to San Jose and tell your tia that I'm not doing it. Tell your mom.
It's just makeup. Do they still have their hopes?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Yuta madre. One day it rained. A little bit, not too much. In Arizona doesn't rain, but that rained. So we bought a patio furniture. So we keep the big boxes. I was ready to throw it away, and he would say like, "What are you throwing away? This is like a mansion and a castle and a house." Or what? So they make literally they cut the box. They put windows. She put an extra door. Jimena put his blanket inside. And then she kept it for like 3 weeks. So that day it rains, oh my God, that was worse than the earthquake in Mexico. Jimena was devastated. Can you buy more furniture? No, I'll buy another box. No. So she was very disappointed. Thank God it rains because I want to just get out of those boxes. And they're already damaged. They will never pass insurance. They were really damaged after 3 weeks. That was not safe for them to be inside. So when they rain, all they have to go up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's good. We're not here. Tan.
Thank you.
Hi, Claudia.
It's cold out there.
I know. How are you?
I'm good. You ready?
I'm ready. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm ready.
You're gonna do as much as you can and don't know in 9 minutes. I don't expect you to do it.
Okay.
I expect you to show me where you're at so I can give you the next piece.
Okay. Right now?
No. I mean when people come back, yes. You're up next.
Oh, I thought that we were going to do Eagle's story first.
No, we're gonna do the Zet first.
Zet first and then Eagle's story. DK.
She's the only one that didn't have a chance to do it.
Okay. Y eso es todo lo
I'll
que
be
sale
Michael
de
Jackson
la
being the Eagle story, so it's.
Everything you know.
Ajá. You said.
No, you're not gonna do that. That's already done.
Okay.
So, where's the stuff you like?
How are you?
There's paper.
As well as you, it's better than
And
New
that's
York,
right
isn't
for
it?
what?
Yes.
That's paper or,
That's not dry erase on the board.
okay. You move this?
Should we go to, do you want more? I'm gonna, she's gonna get the rest.
It is cold.
Is the heater adjustable? Super.
They go heat and cold heat together, it looks like. This
This is good right here.
yeah, but it's cool. I mean, what are we on over here? Yeah, it's on heat. Okay, okay.
So what are we doing next?
DK, and then Eagle's story.
Don't know.
Okay. We're ready to do the Eagle story, okay.
These are all the words. So it's all filled in for you ready. bought my show out with it. We didn't need it in another room.
Okay. So when you think about everything that there is to know about parents, they live not only in America, but parents that live in South America, parents in Asia, parents in England and Africa, parents that, are handicapped parents that, maybe they're adopted parents that are, they became parents because of, their parents passed away, so now they adopted their siblings. So when you think about all the parents, in the world, how much, let me go back, because we have to circle. So we imagine that everything that is here represents, everything that there is to know about parents, and all this represents 100%. So this is everything there is to know. So when you think about all the parents in the world, parents, so do I go backward? Just, parents in Asia, parents in Africa,
Name countries they don't know.
Parents in New Zealand, parents, from Thailand, parents from Cuba, Peru, parents from South and North Korea, from Afghanistan, from all around the world, parents, that are blind parents, that are handicapped parents, that have, some type of disorder, all the parents in the world. How much do you think you know about parents?
A lot.
A lot. So give me a number.
A number from what?
So anything if this is represents 100%, you say you would think you know a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So is it like 10%?
Oh,
is it 50%?
1%?
What
Oh,
percentage?
1%.
What percent do you think we all know?
90%.
So you think we know 90%? Anybody else has another number?
50%.
You think we know 50? What about anybody else?
75?
75? So when you think about all the parents, not only the countries that I mentioned, but the countries, of the other countries in the world, not only the 10 that I mentioned, not only the parents, there are single parents, not only parents that are, they became widow or they, adopted kids, or parents who had to go through.
You don't have to say that anymore. Just ask me, the three of us, why we set those numbers. So give it to the room now. Because you said that already.
Okay. So why would you say we know, this much?
Take the lowest person. 50%.
50%
Top.
top.
Why would you say 50%?
Do you know why you take the lowest person? Because they'll make more sense.
Than someone.
Right. And then when he's finished, I'll go, oh yeah.
So Tabo, why would you say 50%?
Because I don't know everything.
Excuse me, Dickie, take notes for her.
Scribe.
No, notes.
So that I can.
So that she has what I'm saying.
Oh, Victoria, okay.
Okay. So far I said take the lowest. Okay.
The lowest, so they make more sense.
Right. Okay.
Because you don't know everything.
I don't know everything. Maybe half.
Okay. I don't.
Anybody else has
Anybody else has a different number?
a lower number? 50 or lower?
Anybody else has a 50 or lower number? 40? What would you say that, Vicky?
Because I don't understand my parents at all. They're the only parents I know, and I don't know anything about them. Because I hardly talk to them. I don't know anything about them.
That's why I said 90%.
That's what you said, 90%. So you do know everything about the parents?
About my parents, yeah.
Okay. But when we're talking about all the parents in the world,
Well, I'm sure that all the parents in the world are like my parents.
now do you know about parents that can see and are, don't have any limbs? Do you know how they live, what they do to provide for their kids?
I know they still probably yell at their kids.
Okay, but do you know what they do to provide for their kids, how they do it?
No.
Okay, so that's something that you
So
don't.
that's why I said, I don't know 10%, but I know 90%.
Okay, so just like you didn't know that about those parents, can you see that there might be more things of different types of parents that you don't know?
I guess.
So now that you can see that, do you still think your number is 90%?
75.
Okay, so you took it a little bit lower. Do I stay with you or do I go?
Ask the person who had 75, or are you still at 75?
Okay. Vicky, are you still at 75 right now?
No, I'm maybe like 40%.
Victoria, are you still?
No, how come?
Okay.
They are building the argument.
Okay. What would you say then, Vicky?
Well, if all the parents on the planet, and we're one country out of 100 countries, so I was like, well, I'm only like 10%. So everything I know about American families is only like maybe 10%, and I was at 75, so I reduced it because I figure people in Australia and New Zealand and the English-speaking countries are the same. So I know about 3 or 4 of those countries, so I moved it to 40%.
And
So I normally give them names of countries that I know they know nothing about. So I say things like Sri Lanka, Mozambique. They may know Cambodia on this coast, on the west coast. They don't. On the east coast, they don't know Cambodia. So I name places like Timbuktu, Mali, Shenzhen. Like they don't know where the hell these places are. So they can't even imagine it. Then I say, in some countries, kids get married, parents are at 13 years old. Kids will get married at 9, and do you think a 9-year-old is a parent the same way as a 20-year-old parent? So, and that technique is called bankrupting. You're bankrupting my always that I know. So after Dickie says what he said, you come back to me at 75%. What you're trying to do is move me down. You move me down, everybody that's on my side moves down. You guys got that?
Make sure every student in your room has
You got
one of those
that?
yellow time cards and that they sign in the
Say
library.
it again.
Thank you, have a great rest of the day. Go Royals.
She wants to get me down, my number to decrease. Because there's a whole lot of people in the room that's on my side. And when I move my number down, those people move down as well. So right now, I'm 75. And so Dickie just spoke, and now you ask me, do you still say 75? And Dickie said what, 40?
40.
Okay, so ask me.
so are you still at 75?
No, 50.
So you're at 50. Okay.
50%, I know half. So now you have to ask anybody in the room, are they lower than 40?
Is there anybody else is there anybody in the room lower than 40?
Lower?
Lower than 40.
Well, I said 50, but now I think that I'm lower.
Where are you right now?
Maybe 25.
You're at 25. What would you say then?
Well, after Dickie said that all the countries in Australia, and I don't know, she said something, it's even, Dickie said American families, but even in this country, so many different countries, for people from different countries, that I don't know how they live.
Okay.
So that's why I put it maybe 20.
So if even in America we have different nationalities, people from all over the world, and he's at 40, so you're thinking 25. Okay. Anybody else?
What do you want to ask me now?
Are you still at 50?
No, 35. Do you know what game I'm playing? Anybody know what game I'm playing?
trying to be right.
It's-
Trying to be the-
It's like negotiation, like you're
Now
always
I'm
gonna
playing
go-
don't go as low as the room.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He said
You know more-
25,
you know
every
more
time
than-
I come down, but I'm not going
You're
as
not
low
gonna
as
be
the
more
room.
than- yeah.
So I said 35. Anybody lower than 25. So the
So
game then you need to play is get somebody lower so I can go lower.
And-
That's the game.
And how do, and where do I?
You just ask anybody lower than 25.
Anybody lower than 25?
10.
I was gonna say 10 too.
Why would you say that? Let me check with Patty and I'll check with you.
I mean, when I even just think about how many parents there are in my own, of all the kids that I go to school with, that's a lot of parents. And I don't know very much about my own parents. How could I know even about their parents? And then I start to think about parents in my city, and then parents in the state, and then parents in the whole country, and then parents in the whole world. It's just a lot of parents.
What about you? You're 10%,
Yeah,
what would
so-
you say then?
When someone said that there's all these different families inside of the United States, I then said, oh, there's no way I could know their backgrounds and their countries. They might be countries that I don't know from, and went, oh, then from that it makes it smaller.
Okay.
What was the strongest argument in those two statements that you wanna endorse?
She talked,
What Dickie said, they're countries I don't even know. That was the strongest piece in the don't know. What you're trying to get me to is don't know. So he's told me, he opened the door that that's why I said I named, and when he said there's countries I don't know, that's when you start, and you may have to know geography or some other countries, names, get 5 names of countries that you know they don't know, and then you say, but how the people living here and living here, and what I'm left with, because I don't even know where those countries are, this is how I'm left, look.
I'm speaking French.
Because they're not in my past, so I can't find them anywhere. What do you, no, you're not speaking French, I understand French. You're speaking baka laka laka.
Right.
Okay, so, go from Dickie.
Okay, so are you still at 25, at 35?
And now,
I-
give me
so you-
names for, so Dickie said there's places he doesn't even know exist, so tell me something.
So listening from what Nikki said, that there might be countries that he doesn't even know.
Such as,
So what about countries?
Such as?
Such as,
no, I heard a chuckle about it.
Belize,
What's it?
Belize.
Mozambique.
Yeah, I gave you some. Mozambique,
okay.
Timbuktu,
Sri
Shazan,
Lanka, you'll be Croatia, you know that.
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh, tell me what was the other one? No, Iran, she knows Iran.
Serbia.
Syria.
Kyrgyzstan.
That one.
Pakistan.
Tajikistan.
Mhm.
Kyrgyzstan.
Guatemala.
What?
No, everybody knows guacamole. Guacamole too.
Guacamole.
So what about those, in those countries? You know about parents in those countries?
I don't know, but I think there could be, so I'll say 30%.
Well, you were at 20, we were at 30. So
I
you
was
went
at
down to-
35.
You were at 35, so now you're at 30.
Eh? Yeah, I'm at 30.
Okay.
Anybody?
Anybody else lower than 10?
No, she's saying that she think, and you ask that you know. Listen. So she's just thinking, but she doesn't know.
Okay. So, go from there.
So do you, I'm lost.
No, you're not. What was your question? What is on the board? Everything?
Everything that you know about parents.
Right, and he just gave you the answer, the way out.
She thinks.
So
she
you,
doesn't know.
okay, that's what I'm saying, I was gonna ask you that, but then, okay, that's fine. So you think you know about parents in those countries, but do you know about those parents? Is it the same that you think, or that you know?
No, I wouldn't know, but I think,
Right, but you're not sure that that's how it is?
no.
No. And I'm asking I'm asking for the percentage of everything that we know about parents, that you know about parents. So you thinking that you know is not the same as knowing.
Okay, you got me,
Good.
you got me.
So are you still at 30?
18,
Okay.
because the lowest one was 10, right?
Yeah.
And so you stopped the game, right there.
So, okay. No,
And-
for the,
And you can see if somebody ultimately says 1%. Somebody's gonna say nothing. I'll be that person. Somebody else say, we know no percent.
Yeah, so my number's down. There's no way to know. There's no way to know what parents are like. We can think about it, but we can't know, so it's impossible, it's zero.
so you're saying we don't know anything about parents?
No.
Okay.
No. The answer, how come that couldn't be a possible answer?
Okay.
Now I'm asking you, how come that can't be a possible answer?
Because there's something that we know.
Because we said some things. Because we wrote something,
Right.
so it is a percentage.
So we know something, so. Okay, so but can you see that there are some things that we know about parents?
Yeah,
So,
okay.
so he's saying that there's nothing that we know about parents, it can't be possible because at least we know all these things.
Yeah, it's very small, like it would be like,
Zero, zero,
yeah,
zero, one,
like
one.
0.5% or 1%.
Like 0.0001%, that's what you say, and some people are 0.05%, 0.5%, okay. Now, I'm gonna be generous and let's say, that collectively we all.
So what you have to say, so what's the first thing you have to do with that circle? And why do we do it on a whiteboard? What's the first thing you do with the circle?
Want to erase?
You erase everything in the circle. But not the circle.
Okay.
And so you got that. So now you can begin to fill up the circle. So you're gonna stop the game. And what you're gonna confess is, you don't really know the answer. But let's align, let's agree. Cause we don't really know the answer. What do you want us to agree on?
So we really don't know the answer.
No, you really don't know the answer.
Okay. So I really don't know the answer of what's the percentage that we know about parents. But let's look at these numbers and see if we can come to an agreement.
No, but you're gonna pick the number. We just had 10 was the lowest number.
But we got down to 0.0001.
Right.
So
We
we
have
have
that
10
number.
and then you have 0,
Zero.
0, so you make a decision where you want to stay.
Okay. Okay, so I don't know the percentage of other things that we know about parents, but I'm gonna, pick a number, so we have 18% was the highest, and, 0.001 was the lowest, so, we do an app,
Which is the easiest for you to draw?
10, 15?
Whatever is the easiest for you to draw is I always pick 12.5. Because I do a quarter of a circle, which is 25, and half of that is 12.5.
Well, that's,
You can do 6.2.
Or 6.2 if you're gonna go
Or
for.
3.1
Right.
or whatever.
But
It looks like 10%.
No, that's good.
that's how I'm doing it.
Right.
So
And,
it's half,
but that's
half.
right. So you go, can we agree on 12.5 before you draw it?
Oh, okay. So can, looking at these numbers, we had the highest 18 and then lowest 001. So can we agree that, you know, what we know about parents is somewhere between like, you know, 12, 12.5? Can we agree on that?
Okay.
Alright. So we say, this is what I know.
No, you just write IK. But you speak it. IK.
No, when you know,
What
I
does
know,
that
I
mean?
know.
Right, I
Okay.
know.
So
And where are you
this is
gonna
12,
put the, right.
12.5, this is what I know. Now, when you know that you know what, when you know something, what can you do? So tell me one thing that you know.
One thing that I know, play
I don't
soccer.
think we go there yet.
So you.
Where do you normally go in San Jose?
From
So
there,
that
From
you-
there to there?
to
You-
start
you can-
giving examples of what I know, things that I know.
Okay. Okay,
And you can ask.
okay.
So you know how to play
Soccer,
soccer.
yeah.
Okay. So can you demonstrate how to play soccer?
Yeah.
So imagine, so stand up. Okay, so imagine this is the ball, soccer ball. Okay, perfect. So, thank you. Thank you, Tabo. Anybody else that knows how to do something?
Well, if I could do like that, that means I know.
You know, that's, you demonstrate.
But I could do that, and I don't know how to play soccer.
But is that how you play soccer? Like what?
I
you
just did what he did, but I don't know how to play soccer. All I know was kicking my feet. That's all I know I could do.
Well, that's part of playing soccer. That's.
But I don't know how to play soccer.
Okay.
So this for me wasn't a demonstration of playing soccer.
Okay,
It was
so-
a demonstration of kicking my feet.
Okay, so then you get what's something that you know how to do. For him, that was playing soccer.
And I'm trying to
So-
get you to get that it has to be demonstrated in the now.
Okay. So soccer.
So he
you
didn't
demonstrate
demonstrate he
soccer.
knew how to
He
play
didn't
soccer
demonstrate
because
I
there
soccer.
was no
demonstrate to
ball
put
or
my leg, I
anything.
demonstrate just to
Okay,
move my
okay, I
leg.
got
Right,
it.
he didn't demonstrate playing soccer.
Okay.
He just was,
He demonstrated
I thought he
kicking the
was
ball.
trying to imitate Michael Jackson.
Mhm.
Okay.
Not even kicking the ball because it's not a ball here.
That's right. So you guys,
Okay. So tell me something that you know how to do.
I know how to make a paper airplane.
A paper airplane? Okay, can you demonstrate that?
okay, while she's demonstrating that,
Someone
while
else?
she's, yeah, we
Okay.
don't kind of sit
I
there.
know how to write my name.
Okay, can you demonstrate that?
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Something that you know how to do? Say something you know.
I know that 2 plus 2 is 4.
2 plus 2 is 4.
I know how to whistle.
Perfect. Thank you.
I know how to walk.
You know how to what?
Walk.
Walk. Can you demonstrate that? Perfect. Thank you.
And not a belch.
Please don't demonstrate that. Thank you. Thank
That's
you.
a frog.
So, what can you see that when you know something, what
You gotta write the word on the, outside the circle. For the point you're getting ready to make, you have to show the visual word.
So when you know something, then what can you?
You have
What
to
do you
write
do?
the word when, you have to write the word no.
Okay.
For the point you're making, that word has to be on the board.
Okay. So when you know something, what can you do?
Do it,
Demonstrate.
show it.
You demonstrate. You can act. So act, do it. What?
And when do you have to demonstrate it?
Now.
And that's when you underline N-O-W.
Okay. That's me. Do we put act? Cause I know.
N-O-W. When you know something, you could perform it now.
Okay. So when you know something, you can demonstrate that. And when can you demonstrate that?
Now,
In the now. Perfect. Do I have to put act or demonstrate or perform? Do I have?
You can, but
Okay.
you spoke it, but you can put those words.
Okay. Now, so if we know 12.5%, what are other things in the area of knowing?
Somebody
So
else,
if
how
we
would
know
you ask
something-
that question?
What?
How would you ask the question to where she wants to go?
if that's what we know, what's the rest of the circle?
Okay. So if this is the thing, if this is all we know, 12.5%, then what is this? What's the rest of the circle?
You know what's 12.5 from 100? You know the number?
87.5.
Okay, so you say what's in the other 87.5%?
So what's the 87? What's the, if we know 12.5, then what's the 87.5%?
Well, we don't know.
Well, we don't know.
Things that we don't know.
Okay? So the, all here is things that we don't know. Now, demonstrate some, no.
You're trying to get to IK, IDK.
So give me an example.
Give me an example of something that you know you don't know.
That I don't know.
Give me an example of something that you don't know.
I don't know how to speak French.
Okay. What about you?
I don't know how to fly an
Okay,
airplane.
but why are you moving on from him? You didn't make a point. So, so you're saying, I know, IK, don't put it in the circle yet. IK, write that down. Back on the other side. You're saying, I know, IK, IDK. So you repeat what he said. So you're saying, what did you say, Tavo?
I don't speak French.
So you're saying, I know, I don't know how to speak French.
You don't know speak. Okay, so what you're saying is, I know, I don't know how to speak French. Okay. Go to the next.
No,
Okay.
so you know it.
So you know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
I don't know how to fly a plane.
I know, I don't know how to fly a plane. Okay, perfect. One more person.
I know, I don't know how to do open heart surgery.
Okay. Perfect. So when you know that you
No, repeat